again, YouTube, this is Matt. I'm with Hobson Tool Machine. I'm going to show you how to do some 2-axis face milling profile, and we'll throw a pocket in there today. So again, from the last video, same simple part. It's already set up the way I want it. So in this case, we're going to want to face. This whole part is not going to be able to use the simple toolpath. So what I would do here is I would go up here to create, and a line, I'm going to make a box, so a rectangle, and select 2 corner points, and I use sketch so we can get zoom in, get fairly close, zoom out, zoom in, click. So now we got a box. Hit escape a couple times. Escape is my friend on this. So then we go up here to NC, 2 axes to a face mill program. We like to use chain, so just double click on your box there. This box pops up. I don't remember what the dimensions are of this, so let's just say we're using an 1.5 inch tool. It says 6 flute, which some of them, like the ones I have at our shop, are not 6 flute, so we can change that to 4 flute. And if you're, hopefully you already know what a work offset is. So generally I use 54, but it's whatever tool you want. Make sure the same length offset is your tool number. You put what's comfortable for you here. Well, we'll go to cut control here, and it says maximum side step. So we can leave it at 600. Since it's the 1.5 inch, we can go 1.2. Amount to remove, we can do 100. And I always, side clearance, I always go a little bit further. And maximum ref, just for example here, we use 25 thousandths. Hit OK. And this thing always annoys me, so let's just say. So there we go. Now our toolpath. And we can use backplot here. And we can hit play. We can watch it. Fun. One thing I like to do is create a I can't remember what it's called now. Stock box. So I'll show you how I got there. So we go to our operations manager, you right click, edit, setup information, go to your stock, hit your plus sign. You can type in your dimensions if you know what it is, or one of the things I always use is geometry bounding box. You just click that. Now that shows you what box I just created. And hit apply and OK. Hit done. Doesn't show that it showed up. That's always fun. Because the translucence is high. I'll turn it down. There it is. You gotta forgive me, I just installed this not too long ago, the 2022.1. So it's not quite set up the way I like it, but it is what it is. Okay, so if you go back to your operations manager, you can select setup 1, or if you just want to verify. In this case, I only got the one toolpath, so it's not that big of a deal. But you go up here and you click run Surfcam verify. And it's going to show you cutting this material away. I'll slow it down. Maybe. There we go. And that's what it's going to do to that piece of material. Just facing. It's not the most glamorous, coolest toolpath ever. Anyway, so we got our faced off there. And for better lack of terms, let's make another box in here so we can do a pocket. So how I go about that is I will go to Analyze, I will go to Distance and my endpoint to figure out how long that is there, and it says it's 2 inches. So OK, and we'll go back to Transform, and we're going to hit Copy. You can do a distance or you can do offset. I always use offset, and then it has offset distance, location, tangent. I always change my offset just so I know how far I'm going. So we're going 2 inches. Hit OK. Click that, and you want to be on this side of it. And there it is. There's our line. And also what I like to do is go to Edit. I like to extend my line so my tools actually come off the part. And we'll just use 1/2 inch for this example. Make sure you click the correct line there. So we got 1/2 inch that way, and 1/2 inch here, and there. Now we go to Create, we go to Line, Endpoints, Endpoint. Just select your endpoints. Now we have our box that we're going to use to create our next toolpath. And again, we're going to go to Analyze. We can do distance, but since I have it set on the top of the part, we're just hit Location, Endpoint. I'm going to just select that endpoint there. So minus 1 inch. Okay. So we're going to go to NC, 2-axis, pocket. Make sure it says chain. We're going to double click our line. Our box is orange, so we hit done. And we'll just stick with a 1/2 inch. I don't really care about this because I'm just showing you guys. So important, you got your Z depth. It was 1 inch that we needed to go down. So you type in 1. You do not type a negative. And then when you go down to here, 200 thousandths is okay for this example. But if you wanted to change it to, I don't know, 50, or some case, you might be able to get away with 1 inch. But for this example, 200 is fine. And the rough spacing is how much it's cutting on the side. 200 and 200, depending on the material, it's fine. We have a finished pass, just 1, and it's going to leave 20 and come back and clean up to 20. Now another important thing here is your plunge. You can either have a plunge down, you can have a ramp, you can have a helical, or you can use PEC. To be completely honest, I've never used PEC, but for this example, let's do helical. Most end mills can only ramp a 3-degree angle, a 4-flute end mill, alright? So we gotta play with the pitch. Normally if I just put a 0 there, it's 3.17. That's close enough. I've never had an end mill break because of 3.17. So we'll hit OK. I'm not saying it won't, depends on the material. And I don't mess with anything in here. So we're going to hit OK and see our toolpath. There it is. It's zooming down. Now you're going to notice there's going to be a slight problem when we go to verify it in Operations Manager. We're going to hit Setup 1, and then we're going to run Surfcam Verify. So now that we got this, slow it down a little bit, and then hit play. Watch this. And you're going to notice something a little weird, or you should. Alright, so now that we've seen that it rotates, our helicals down. We'll speed it up. You guys see anything weird going on here? Let me open this full screen. Our stock box that I used to create our face, showing that there's still material here. I always, usually, I say usually, make sure that my line here exceeds any stock. So we can just go to transform, move, offset, change offset. We'll do a 1/4 inch. I deal with inches. I don't do metric. Sorry for if you do. I mean, that's just what I'm used to. So then we're going to click this line and make sure we're on this side of the line, so it goes that way. Because if we were on this side of the line, it would go the opposite way, right? So simple. Hit escape. Get rid of your toolpath because it clutters. Go to edit. We go to trim. Just make sure it says trim 2. And click to retrim. Thought I was further out. And now our box exceeds our part. Hit escape a couple of times. Go back to your operations manager. It's red. Let's see if the red and green button will fix it. Boom. Now it's fixed. So we go to setup 1. In this case, we will run Surfcam verification. I'll make it full screen again. Zoom out a little bit. That's weird. Hit play. Boom. That material that was on the side is no longer there. Alright, so that looks good there. Right toolpath. Now what we got going left on this part is this little fillet here, this arc, and this little fillet here. So let's just see how big our arc is by going to analyze elements and just selecting this circle. Looks like it's close to 1 3/4 inches. And then hit OK. So now, for the fun of things, we're going to say NC 2 axis, and we're going to use contour. We're going to chain. So we want to make sure we get first part of that fillet, and then we want to select the last part of the fillet over here on the other fillet. Hit OK, or not OK, just click it. Now you're going to see this. So it has different options on where to go. I click there, does that, and it comes over here. I click that, and that is our toolpath. So hit done. We'll leave it at 1/2 inch. I don't remember how thick the part is, so we'll just call it 1 inch. And amount to remove per side, let's also call that 1 inch. We'll do 300. Now your lead in and lead out are very important. I liked, when I'm doing arcs, I like to arc on and arc off. See what this looks like. Boom. So you'll see that it stays away too much. So we can cut that down. And kind of looks like it was part of the arc. Nope, I got it. Never mind. So we can do that in technically 2 passes. So we'll just go back to our operations manager, right click here, and regenerate toolpath with original. Go back to cut control, and we can change that to 0.6. Boom. We got a nice, clean looking toolpath. And now we can go to analyze some distance, Click that endpoint, click that endpoint, 750. So just to make things a little bit cleaner, go back to Operations Manager, change that to 0.8. Now we have one less toolpath. Let's hide our toolpath. Go back to Operations Manager, select Setup 1, and let's verify and make sure this is what we want. Zoom out, hit play. Alright, so it shows this little nub. We could have, ooh, you know what I forgot? I forgot our stock was longer. Alright, well that changes a little bit. Yep, so let's exit out and go back to our Operations Manager. Right click on your last operation here. You want to regenerate toolpath and reselect geometry. So this changes things a little bit, not too crazy. Let's get rid of that little nugget. We're going to change our arc on and off to line on. Anytime I use line on, I like to come straight on it. So we hit that, and our lead out copied what our lead in is. So we hit OK. Now down here it says select a beginning element. My beginning element is that corner. Now down here it says select ending element. So we'll come down here and select our ending. Now just like before, you gotta click all these lines here. And I can tell you, if you wanted to and that was annoying you, can go in and delete the vertical lines, because that's what's causing it to do that. It's looking for an alternative way to get there. So we hit done. Now we got a little extra loop to do there, and this is going to look a whole lot better. And go to setup 1. By the way, you can rename that to whatever you want, like hello with a lowercase h. Alright, so do that by clicking the, so let's say you're here, you just click once, click again, and we'll change it to high. If it does not, it's whatever you want to name it. Usually I name it things so I know what I'm doing in this setup. So we'll go back to verify. Full screen. Back out. I don't know why it keeps jumping that way, but we'll hit play. Alright, that looks a whole lot better. Yep. So that's 3 different toolpaths in 2-axis mode. I will catch you all in the next one.